these two little white girls came on the aisle, and they were young too. They were like, "Oh my gosh, your hair is so pretty." And I was like, "Oh, thank you." But they asked me if they could touch it, and I politely told them, "No, you're not able to touch my hair," and they were fine with it. So time goes by, and I'm grabbing whatever I need. So I get in the line to check out, and the girls came up behind me. I could hear them, and they were like, "Look, mommy, that's the girl with the hair." And their mom got so upset with me, and she was like, "If my fucking kids want to touch your hair, then damn it, that shouldn't be a problem." And in the middle of her like still talking, she ended up like putting her hands in my hair. I beat that bitch up in front of her kids. I'm a human being, and you don't get to pet me when you feel like it.
Being a Black woman means having hair that is so unique that people objectify it. Instead of being praised for the hairstyles we choose to wear, we are stigmatized. To this day, it is legal in 36 states to discriminate against someone because of their hairstyle. The Crown Act was established in 2019 to end hair discrimination, but so far, it has only been passed in 14 states. The immense pressure we face says a lot about how we wear our hair.
The first ever hair memory that I have is, I think I might have been 6 or 7. We stayed in the projects. My mom had put a fresh perm on, and it wasn't the Just For Me box, right? We couldn't afford the whole fancy Just For Me box, but we had the relaxer in the brown can with the brown top. Some of y'all might know what I'm talking about. She put the perm on my hair, and as soon as she put the perm on, our water turned off. So I know you guys hear a lot of times like, "Oh, when I was this age, like I had a perm on, and then that's what messed me up for the rest of my life." But no, seriously.
And it was just a slow burn. It would burn your hair out. You would leave the beauty shop with beautiful straight hair. And about a month later, you would notice balding.
Growing up, I felt that I had to like press my hair. I couldn't like really wear my natural hair, or I'll get called like ugly.
And still, some of my family members to this day, they see my natural hair, they're like, "Ooh, your hair, like what you gonna do with it? It's already done. What do you mean what am I gonna do? This is the style."
It's like, this is what my hair looks like, so why is it like a issue?
If you're not done up or you're not looking a certain way all the time, then you're perceived as like dirty, trashy, ghetto, or like not kept up, bad, poor hygiene and stuff like that.
It's a really complex issue, I think, because of cultural conditioning and the fact that the European aesthetic of beauty is the one that's embraced in our society. It marginalizes us and our hair. And I think our response to that is sometimes maladaptive, where we feel like we have to comply.
I think our hair done is part of our wardrobe. We want to have on nice shoes. We want to have on nice outfits. So why not complete that with a nice hairstyle?
But I honestly think that it goes deeper than that. And then also, like, what does it mean to have your hair done? I think that varies depending on where you are. Because in a workplace, you think I could show up to my job with Bantu knots? I don't think so.
I tend to get comments that like, I have very hippie and wild hair because my hair is very big and curly. So like in the workplace, that's like one of the biggest things. Like I feel like you always gotta try to like hide your hair or hide who you are in the workplace because it's not perceived to be professional.
There was almost an understood mandate that when you work in television, that your hair is to be straight, that it's to be a certain length, a certain color. So in a sense, there was no discrimination, but there were these unspoken rules that you really had to abide by.
Back in the day, you were frowned on if you wore braids to work. You know, they didn't like all that from Black people. And heaven forbid you have your hair like the, what is it, the dreadlocks? They would hate that.
When I was applying for an administrative position, because I'm an educator, I was standing in line at the administration building for an interview, and a friend of mine who worked in the superintendent's office came over to me in line and said, "You know the superintendent does not like short hair on ladies, so you probably won't get a position. You need to think about having your hair curled." And as I stood in the line and thought about that, I said, oh my gosh, I had never thought about that because I had never had any hair discrimination before that. But I stood in that line and I went through an interview to become an assistant principal, and I didn't make the cut. And so I was leaving the administration building thinking about that, and I heard someone call my name, and it was a gentleman who was on the interview panel, and he had my folder in his hand, and he said, "Miss Livingston," he said, "don't leave." He said, "We need to talk to you." And I said, "Oh, about what?" He said, "You didn't make the assistant principal's cut. We want to talk to you about becoming a principal."
Will they take you serious with an afro? Will they think you're that, oh, here comes a girl with an afro, she's an angry Black girl? But I think it stems back from, back when the afros were, in the sense of like the Black Panther or those type of movements where those people wore afros and they were considered like troublesome. But that stigma should be left in right now. Like, I just want to wear my hair in afro, period. It shouldn't matter what I'm doing or what my job is.
There are many styling techniques and practices that are unique to Black women. We do these styles and practices to protect and nourish the hair, and also as a form of expression.
Welcome to the world of hair.
Okay, so protective styling is basically putting your hair in a different style from your natural state so that you won't have to manipulate your natural hair all the time.
Basically, like, you're covering your hair with like a wig, or like I said, adding in hair for like braids or like faux locks, to keep your hair protected from like styling tools, heat, harsh weather conditions.
The longest time it's taking me to do my hair, probably like 6 to 8 hours. Just the wash process with the detangling with pre-poo, then washing it, and then sometimes I be want to wash it in sections to make sure it's really clean and make sure like the conditioner and the shampoo is getting in all the sections of my hair. Then I got to detangle it again, and then I have to style it, and I normally style my hair in twists, so that alone takes about 2 hours.
Girl, wash day. It takes a whole day.
Black hair comes in many different textures, and because our hair is so diverse, a system has been created in order for us to manage our hair. Has this system led us into preferring a certain texture over the other? The good hair, nappy hair debate has been discussed for years. What do these terms even mean?
I feel like the hair typing system is okay. It needs some work because people have different numbers and letters to different curl patterns, and it's like not all universal. So like you'll look at one chart and it'll say you're 4C, but then like you'll look at another chart and it's like, oh, you're 4B. It's just like, we need to all get on the same page.
I think that it serves for good and bad. I think that for someone who's a new natural, they want something to kind of look to, but I don't necessarily think curl pattern and texture are the same thing, right? Because you could have very curly hair and it still be kind of coarse as well, and you could also have the opposite. So I think if you're looking to identify and see what kind of curl pattern you have, those charts are okay, but that doesn't tell you your hair porosity, meaning how dry your hair is or how well it takes moisture. It doesn't tell you what kind of products necessarily are good for you.
But I'm always leery when we start finding ways to divide and separate our natural features, because I just think that there can't be much good that comes out of that.
Good hair can mean several things. I have good hair because when I wake up in the morning and pick up my implements, my rake and my brush and my aloe vera, and do this and spend 5 seconds shaping, my hair is good.
Looser curls, or like the hair that you can run your fingers through, that would be like considered good hair.
If that is your hair and you're grooming it well, then have at it. I'm happy for you, but your hair is no gooder than mine.
There's that saying in Spanish also, pelo malo, pelo bueno. It's the same thing. It's kind of used as a way to make people feel bad about their Africanness and their proximity to Africanness. And one of the biggest indicators other than skin tone that indicates Africanness is your hair. And to say that hair is bad because it's nappy or because it's kinky or because it's not silky like European counterparts doesn't mean that your hair is bad. It just means that your hair is different. Someone told me my hair has never done anything bad to anybody, so that's not bad hair.
So, it's just like somebody calling you a nigger. I mean, does that trigger something in you? If you know you're not one, then that word can't be weaponized against you. So I feel the same way about the term nappy, and I embrace it.
So I don't want to sit up here and say that I don't like the word, but I like it when we take it back and we use it in our own way and not in a negative way, like I love my nappy, pretty curls, and not like, oh, girl, her hair nappy.
On top of all of these pressures to keep our hair intact, some women have to endure the battle of cancer.
Breast cancer took my hair totally out. I started out, at first I didn't think it was gonna come out, but when they started my chemo, then my hair just started shedding, and I kept saying, okay, it's gonna stop. It never did. It just, patches would come out every day, and finally it was all gone. Yeah, and that just it did something to me.
I was so attached to my hair, and the idea of losing it to medicine just made me extremely emotional. Like, it was just so, you don't realize how much you're attached to your hair until it's gone. But the reason why I cut it prior to chemo is so I wouldn't have to endure that emotional trauma of watching it fall out in clumps onto the bathroom floor when I'm getting out of the shower. So I was proactive in that sense, and I'm so glad I did, because it was the easier transition to go from a very, very, very low fade to bald, as opposed to a head full of hair to bald.
The Bible says your hair is your glory, and to me, I never really understood that until I lost my hair. Then it was like, okay, wait a minute. It means something to have your hair and keep it in good health.
Black women go through so much when it comes to their hair, whether it be altering it to conform into society, being discriminated against for unique styles, or just not knowing what to do with it. Despite all the pressure put on us because of our hair, we still manage to take pride in our textures and styles.
I think the natural hair community on YouTube really taught me to take pride in my hair. Seeing these girls with my hair, I had never really seen a lot of people with my hair type. And so I was like, wow, there's hundreds of Black girls with hair like mine.
I think it was kind of my journey back to myself and me having to figure out what's important to me and what ways do I show myself self-love.
I don't know if there's any one individual, but I was raised during a time of the say it loud, I'm Black and I'm proud. And, you know, I've just always, that's always resonated with me. So being Black and proud for me means embracing everything Black that is Black about me.